In the year 3197, the alien empire known as the Vorak Dominion ruled more than half the galaxy. Their armies were feared. Their fleets were unmatched. And now they claimed they had built something that could never be defeated, the Titanus. Mekdot, it was a towering machine of black metal and silver plates, its armor gleaming under the bright arena lights. Two glowing red eyes sat inside a head shaped like a predator's skull. Massive cannons were mounted on its shoulders, and each arm carried weapons, capable of tearing through battleships. The Vorak called it the perfect weapon. It had destroyed warships, crushed ground armies, and ended conflicts in minutes. In every battle, it walked away without a single scratch. It had never lost. It had never even been damaged. That day, the Vorak invited leaders from across the galaxy to witness the Titanus in action. The arena stood like a deep metal pit, with shields covering the crowd. Holocameras floated above, broadcasting the event across every world connected to the galactic network. Alien voices filled the air, some in excitement, others in fear. Merchants, generals, and political leaders all watched from their luxury boxes, sipping strange drinks, whispering about the Vorak's growing power dot. In the middle of the crowd, a human sat alone, leaning forward with his elbows on his knees. His name was Commander Jacques Calder, a soldier from Earth, a world the galaxy called a death world. Humans had a reputation. They were survivors, born on a planet full of predators, dangerous weather, and endless natural threats. They learned to adapt, fight, and endure. But to most alien empires, they were still seen as lesser. Primitive, fragile, easy to crush. Jacques didn't speak. His eyes stayed locked on the machine, standing in the center of the arena. Something about the Titanus felt wrong, not just dangerous alive. The way it shifted its weight, the faint hum under its metal shell. It didn't move like a normal war machine. It breathed. The Vorag Prime Commander stepped forward onto a high platform, his voice booming through the arena. "Today," he declared, "you will see the future of war. The Titanus mech is unstoppable. Its armor is unbreakable. Its weapons are unmatched. No army can stand against it." The crowd cheered. The sound echoed like a storm across the metal walls. The commander raised a hand, and the noise died down. "We offer a challenge," he continued. "Anyone, any champion from any world may face the Titanus in single combat. The one who defeats it will earn anything they desire." The arena fell silent. No one moved. The offer was tempting, but the risk was certain death. Everyone knew the Titanus had no weaknesses. Everyone had seen the footage ships turned to wreckage, armies reduced to ash. It wasn't a fair fight. It was suicide. A nervous laugh passed through the crowd as alien leaders looked at each other, waiting for someone foolish enough to step forward. Then a voice spoke. "I'll fight it." Heads turned. In the middle of the crowd, the human Jacques Calder rose to his feet. He wore no armor. He carried no weapon. Only a simple jacket, boots, and gloves. The Vorak guards near him stiffened, unsure if they had heard correctly. The Prime Commander's expression shifted from amusement to curiosity. "A human?" he said, his voice dripping with mockery. "You would fight the Titanus? With no weapons?" Jacques shrugged. "I've fought worse." Laughter erupted across the arena. Some aliens shook their heads. Others looked away, unwilling to watch what they assumed would be a quick and ugly death. The Vorak Prime Commander smiled. "Very well, Deathworlder. Let the galaxy watch your courage. And your end." The gates at the side of the arena hissed open, steam spilling out into the pit. The Titanus mech turned its head slowly toward Jacques, its glowing red eyes locked onto him. A low mechanical growl rumbled from deep inside its chest. It stepped forward, each movement making the ground tremble. The metal plates of its feet left dents in the reinforced floor. Weapon ports began to open along its arms and shoulders, revealing cannons and missile racks. The crowd's laughter grew quieter. Even the ones who doubted Jocks began to feel the weight of the moment. Jocks walked toward the gate at the bottom of the hall. The stands, the path leading into the arena floor. Each step echoed in the silence. His face showed no fear, only focus. Inside his mind, he wasn't thinking about the prize the Vorak offered. He was thinking about something else. A memory half buried of a war long ago. A war the Vorak had tried to erase from every record. And in that memory, there had been a machine very much like the Titanus. The announcer's voice thundered across the arena. Let the match begin. The shield walls around the pit activated, locking the combatants inside. The Titanus straightened, weapons humming to life. From the stands, alien voices shouted, placing bets on how long the human would last. 30 seconds. Maybe less. The Vorak Prime Commander leaned back in his chair, a cruel smile on his face. Show us your strength, Deathworlder. The Titanus took its first step forward. The floor shook. The sound of its servos filled the air. It raised one arm, the barrel of its plasma cannon, glowing brighter and brighter. Jax didn't move. He just watched, waiting. The air grew hot. The cannon's core reached full charge. A sudden, blinding flash erupted from the Titanus. The first shot aimed directly at Jax's chest. Cliffhanger. The crowd gasped as the blast consumed the human. In a cloud of smoke and fire. When it cleared, no one could believe what they saw. Smoke and fire rolled across the arena floor, hiding everything from sight. The crowd roared, some in excitement, others in shock. To most, it was already over. No creature could survive. Direct plasma shot from the Titanus mech. The heat alone could melt through tanks. Even the Vorak guards relaxed their grip on their weapons. Certain the human had been reduced to ash. But inside the smoke, something moved. A shadow. Slow at first, then steady. When the dust began to clear, the impossible was revealed. Jax. Calder stood exactly where he had been. His jacket was scorched, smoke drifting from his shoulders, but his body was untouched. The plasma had not burned him. Gasps spread through the alien crowd. Whispers turned into shouts. Impossible. No one survives that. He must be using a shield. The Vorak Prime Commander leaned forward, his eyes narrowing. No shield was visible, no armor. Just a human breathing slowly, calmly. The Titanus tilted its head as if confused. Then it adjusted its stance, scanning the human with its sensors. Weapons ports shifted and clicked into new positions. This time, it wasn't going to test him. It was going to end him. A missile rack opened on its back, the tips glowing with guidance lights. Both arms began to spin up high-energy weapons, their whine building in pitch. The ground beneath the Titanus vibrated as it powered up for a full assault. Jax's eyes narrowed. He had seen this pattern before, back in the war that never made it into history books. A war the Vorak had tried to erase. He whispered to himself, same design, same mistakes. Then, without warning, he moved. The crowd wasn't ready for how fast the human was. One moment, he was standing still. The next, he was a blur across the arena floor. His boots slammed into the metal with each stride, sparks flying behind him. Titanus tried to track him, but the targeting systems lagged by fractions of a second. Against most enemies, that didn't matter. Against Jax, it meant everything. The first volley of missiles launched, streaking across the pit. Jax dropped low, sliding under the smoke trails. He grabbed a loose piece of metal debris from the floor, and with a twist of his arm, he hurled it upward. The shard struck one of the missiles mid-flight, triggering an explosion that set off 2 others. Fire lit the arena sky. The Titanus adjusted instantly, its cannons locking on to Jox's new position. Twin beams of burning energy cut through the air, but the human had already rolled to the side, diving behind one of the arena's support columns. Inside the viewing platform, alien leaders leaned forward in disbelief. They weren't watching a man run for his life. They were watching a predator. Hunt. The Vorak Prime Commander's smile faded. Something about this human was wrong. Too calm, too fast. And the way he moved, it wasn't just survival instinct. It was knowledge. The Titanus stomped forward, each step sending vibrations through the column Jox hid behind. Its massive claw reached out, gripping the metal support and tearing it from the ground. The whole arena shook as the pillar fell aside, revealing nothing. JAX was gone. A sharp sound echoed from above. The alien crowd looked up and saw the human hanging from the Titanus shoulder plate, gripping a seam in its armor with bare hands. In one swift motion, Jox swung his body upward, slamming a boot into a maintenance hatch. The panel buckled under the force, exposing glowing circuits and pulsing energy conduits. The Titanus reacted violently, thrashing its arm to shake him off. But Jox held on, his fingers digging into the metal edge. With his free hand, he reached inside the open hatch and ripped out a cluster of cables. Sparks exploded across the Titanus' back, its weapons flickering for half a second. It wasn't much, but for the first time in its history, the perfect weapon had taken damage. The crowd erupted. Some screamed in disbelief, others in pure excitement. Bets were being changed mid-fight. The Vorak officers barked orders to each other, unable to understand how this was happening. But the Titanus didn't stop. If anything, the damage only seemed to make it more aggressive. It swung both arms toward its own shoulder, trying to crush the human against its armor. Jox kicked away at the last moment, dropping to the ground in a roll. He landed, looked up, and smiled. T.